4 a.m. club. I'm just waking up. It's not 4 a.m. It's like 8:30. This is a very mini update. I had a weird night. Are we all? We're just accepting it. We're all having weird nights from here on out. Before I tell you what happened, I have to say, you got to know how uncharacteristic it is of me to like not be dressed in full hair and makeup to do these videos. Like when I finally get out of bed, when I finally get myself together, you guys aren't even gonna recognize me. Thank God for filters. I'm keeping my dignity. Okay, so here's what happened. I went to bed last night around 1:30, so not as late as the night before. I did not wake up in the night at 4 a.m., but I had, okay, so I'm not going to call it a dream. I know it wasn't a dream, but it came through in a way that was dream-like. It had that quality about it. And that will often happen as a psychic. As I'm going to sleep, my consciousness is aware of other things that are happening. And it's a very strange sensation. Sometimes it feels like I'm just witnessing, like, say I'm in a train and I'm watching the landscape fly by. You know, I'm just seeing flashes of things happening. Sometimes it's faces floating. Other times it's a very strange sensation that I'm somewhere else doing something, living a life, and then I'm suddenly like sucked back through the veil. That's the only way I can describe it, where like I knew I was doing something, saying something, feeling, thinking, living, existing, and then suddenly I had this like whoosh, and then I'm back here in bed going, wait, what? And all I can remember is that I was somewhere doing something, but I have no memory of what it was. And I don't concretely know what that is, but what I feel, what I strongly feel, is that I'm catching glimpses into my parallel lives and realities. Because this is not the only body I'm incarnated into. And I think sometimes I get glimpses of that. So that's what happened to me last night. And it was shown in sort of a dreamlike way so I could actually see what was happening. So what I saw was this round table, very symbolic, and all these girls and women were around it. And what was so beautiful and surprising is how many of these were girls, not adults. They were teenagers, they were children. And this one girl caught my eye, just really drew my attention for whatever reason. She was about 16 years old, and she had long red hair. It was curly, and it was pulled back in a high ponytail, and she had glasses. And she was very sweet. She had, you know, this energy of being very calm and very grounded, and yet I could also feel the passion and fire within her, like determination, unshakable determination. And at this point, I sort of woke a little more, became a little more consciousness and aware that I was observing this. And I told myself, like, pay attention, remember this in the morning. And what came to me is absolutely, I was seeing into my other incarnations and seeing the work that my soul is doing right now in every single body that I possibly am fractured into. And I'm sharing this because I believe this is true for all of us. We're all incredibly busy right now. And so many of us feel helpless. Like, I want to do more. Who do I call? What do I say? What do I do? I understand that helpless feeling. I really do. But I've always felt that if the physical action isn't immediately apparent, then it's not for you to do right now. It's simply to witness, focus on your energy, hold the light. And so seeing my other selves in action like this, for whatever reason, there were adult women there, and I'm sure there were men. I don't believe I'm only exclusively female, but for the purposes of what I was shown, it was largely female, and they were young women and young girls. And for whatever reason, that teenage girl in particular was the one who showed up as the one who's taking the most physical action right now. Because I have been a social justice warrior for 20 plus years. I've been a canvasser, I've been an activist, and there were phases in my life where I was doing much more physical, hands-on, boots on the ground work. But in recent years that has shifted, and I have not felt drawn to that kind of work. And so that's what this takes. There are some people who fill the roles of physical action. There are some people who fill the roles of physical non-action but emotional engagement. There are some of us who all we are doing right now is giving hope to others, talking to our friends and loved ones, holding space. People like me who are being more public about it. And then there are those of us who All we can do is manage ourselves and manage our own panic and fear, and that's okay. Wherever you're at, that's okay. Because I want you to understand and know and trust that whatever you're doing in this singular physical reality is not the only thing you're doing. And I can't say with certainty how many parallel and multiple incarnations we have. I don't know. I don't know what's going on for you. And I barely even know what's going on for me. You know, we have a veil. We have a veil where we can only see our physical life. That's all we're experiencing right now. But what I do know is that this is such a massively multifaceted experience. It's an operation. It's a coordinated event, so that not only are all physical bodies engaged in the way they best can be, but all of spirit is engaged as well. So that the things we can't see, we need to trust that more is happening. So much more is happening. With the energy that I'm feeling, a lot is happening. And that's the last thing I want to talk about is the energies I felt last night, y'all. Holy shit. So again, with my anchoring, with my processing of energies, as I feel them most when I lie down flat. That's not the only time when I feel them, and it doesn't mean that I'm not anchoring them when I don't feel them. It's just that becomes when they're most apparent to me. And so I felt them coming in last night. They are a very, 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 very high, intense vibration. Strong, strong, strong. Tingly, sparkly, effervescent. I had a commenter call them razzle dazzle, and I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. It's just, it did. So those came in, but something else came in with it, very specifically. So there's a spirit I work with regularly. We have a very close relationship, and he helps me in a lot of really powerful and personal ways. And I felt him come in. I usually feel his energy in my heart center, and I did feel that, so I knew it was him when he came in. But then it shifted, and I felt his energy move into my solar plexus. And it was very intense, like almost painful. It's not painful like, oh, something's wrong, this shouldn't be happening. It's just like I know a lot is being worked on in my physical body. And I've seen other people talk about they've been called to do Reiki on themselves. They've been called to clear out their auras and chakras. And so I know my personal spirit team was working on me last night and focusing in on the area that needs the most attention and healing right now. Okay, the final experience, the cherry on the cake, I woke up to a message from my psychic bestie saying that at 3 a.m., she's Pacific time, my mountain time, so her 3 a.m., my 4 a.m., she heard me calling her name. She heard my voice. It woke her up. And I, physically, Gia in this body was dead asleep. So, y'all, we are spiritual warriors. We are on the case. We are working around the clock, physically, spiritually, energetically. It's all good, you guys. It's all good. I'm just so excited to keep seeing this unfold.